Hi, this is Sarah from Beyond Barriers Personal Training with a different style of workout for your Wednesday workout today. So this is a recovery day workout, and I hope that if you're all following our workouts, that you're also adding in recovery days. Recovery days are really important for healing and muscle growth. And actually, never taking a recovery day is going to prevent you from building muscle and getting stronger. However, you've got this time now on this recovery day, and we don't want to waste it. So it's a perfect day to add in some areas of fitness that we tend to overlook or not focus on enough. Flexibility and joint connective tissue health, mobility, range of motion. And so today is your recovery day yoga flow workout. It's going to be about 20 minutes, maybe 25. And we're going to go through some really common yoga poses and string them together into a workout that's designed to aid in your recovery and help you be ready to get right back into it tomorrow. So all you need is a mat and about 20 minutes of your time. We're going to start on our hands and knees in tabletop. We're going to work on some spinal mobility here. So you can have the tops of your feet flat on the floor, or you can have your toes tucked under. We want to stack our joints here. So make sure that your wrists are under your elbows and your elbows are under your shoulders. Spread all 10 fingers apart so you can see your mat in between your fingers. And then press the knuckles of your fingers and the pads of your hands right under your fingers into the mat to slightly lift your wrists. That will keep your wrists from hyperextending. And do that throughout our practice today so that you can avoid sore wrists. We're going to do a few rounds. We're going to start with a few rounds of cat-cow, and we want to match our breath to our movement. So take a deep breath in, round your spine, drop your head, tuck your tailbone under, and lift the center of your upper back up toward the ceiling, pressing your hands into the mat. Pull the pit of your belly up and in. And then on your exhale, extend your spine, lift your head, lift your hips, let your belly sink down toward the ground. Inhale, round your back. Exhale, extend. Move with your breath, not mine. So take your time. You don't have to match my movements. Inhale, round and lift. Exhale, extend. One more time. Take it nice and slow. And let it out. And then bring your spine back to a neutral position. Take your knees really wide. They can touch all the way to the edges of your mat, and bring your big toes to touch. And then sink your hips back and down onto your heels for child's pose. Walk your hands forward. Bring your forehead down to the mat. Bring your chest down to the mat. And focus on lengthening your body. So imagine each vertebrae in your back pulling away from the one next to it, creating all kinds of space and length in your spine. And you might want to reach your fingertips forward, tiptoe them forward on the mat, press your hips back, get as long as you can, and breathe here. Take 3 deep breaths. With every exhale, let yourself sink deeper into your mat. And after your third exhale, you're going to tuck your toes under, press your hands into the mat, lift your hips up for downward facing dog. Press your hands so firmly into the mat. Spread your fingers, spread your toes.
Press your feet into the mat and then melt your chest towards your thighs, feeling the opening in the front of your shoulders and chest. Pull the pit of your belly up and in. Lift your hips 2 more inches up. Yeah, you don't have to be still here. You can pedal your feet, feel a stretch in the back of your calves, in your ankles, maybe your hamstrings. Then press your right hand into the mat. Take your left hand, reach for the outside of your left calf, and pull. Twist open. Feel the twist in your side body. Come back, both hands on the mat, switch sides. Reach the outside of your opposite calf and pull. Twist open. Bring your hand back to the mat. Bring your big toes together again to touch. And then lift your right leg up. Up, up, up. But press your heel up toward the ceiling. Bend your knee. Bring your foot back to the mat. Switch sides. Left leg comes up. Reach, 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 reach. Bend, stack, and open. And then bring your foot back down. Walk your feet all the way up to your hands. Lift your hands up. Grab your opposite elbows and just let your body hang. Take ragdoll here. And you can sway from side to side. You can bend your knees. You do not have to keep your legs perfectly straight. You can bend them so much that your chest melts down onto your thighs. See what that feels like. Or you can straighten them and lift your hips up toward the ceiling. Deep breaths in and out. Feel your back lengthening. Drop your arms, slowly roll up to standing. Press both feet into the mat at hips width apart. Press all 4 corners of your feet into the mat. So big toe mound, pinky toe mound, the center of your heel. Pull your shoulders down and back. Squeeze them in towards your spine. Open your hands up toward the front of the room. Spin your pinky fingers in. That creates external rotation in your shoulders. And speaking of those shoulders, get them away from your ears. Keep them down. This is mountain pose. Take a deep breath here in and out. We're going to go through 2 rounds of Sun Salutation A here. It's just a flowing series of movements, like 5 movements we're going to connect together to get your body warmed up and moving, get synovial fluid moving around your joints. So inhale, reach up. Stretch your fingertips up toward the ceiling. And as you breathe out, as you exhale, fold forward all the way down to the ground. On your next inhale, come to a halfway lift. So you want to create a tabletop with your back. Reach the crown of your head forward, pull your hips back. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, step back into high plank. You can also bring your knees down to the ground. You do not have to have your knees up, just this high plank. Shift forward 2 inches. Squeeze your elbows in, lower yourself halfway down, that's chaturanga. Then open up, lift up, upward facing dog, breathe in. Exhale, downward facing dog, breathe out. So that's a Sun Salutation A. We're going to go through it one more time. I'm going to modify the poses for you to give you another option. So take a deep breath in, lift your heels, bend your knees. As you exhale, step or jump to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Deep breath in, fold forward as you exhale. Rise up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, fold forward all the way down to the ground. Halfway lift, inhale. Come into your plank on your exhale. I'm going to modify this now. So I've got my knees down. Squeeze your elbows in. As you exhale, you're going to lower your chest all the way down to the ground. And then press up, keeping your legs down. Breathe in, tuck your toes, lift your hips, breathe out. Good work here. Take 2 breaths, full, complete breaths. On your second inhale, look to your thumbs, get ready to move, bend your knees, and on your exhale, step to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Fold forward. This time we're going to go into Thunderbolt, Utkatasana. So you're going to sink down like you're sitting in a chair behind you. Tuck your tailbone under. Lift the pit of your belly up and in. Squeeze your legs together. Reach your fingertips up, up, up toward the ceiling. Sink down 2 more inches. You can do it. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. Step back into your high plank, knees up or down. Chaturanga, halfway down, upward facing dog. Remember, you have the option of going all the way to the ground from your knees and coming up in cobra. Downward facing dog. We're gonna step your right foot forward all the way up to your hands. Pivot on your left, on your back foot, so that your toes face 10 o'clock. Press the outer edge of that foot into the mat and reach up, warrior 1. Feel the length in the side of your body here as you reach your fingertips out toward the ceiling. Sink down low in your front knee. Exhale, come back down to the mat. Remember, knees up or down. This is knees down. Chaturanga or cobra, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. We're going to do the same thing on your left side. Step your left foot forward, warrior 1. Breathe in, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands back down to the mat. Step back into your plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Don't worry about trying to do any of these right or wrong. You're just moving, matching breath with movement. Yoga is not about getting it right. If you think you got it right, you're not doing yoga. Just move your body and breathe with your movements. We're going to do 1 more of those series of poses. That's called Sun Salutation B. So prepare to move to the top of your mat. You can hop or you can step. Halfway lift. Fold forward. Thunderbolt. Sink low, reach high. Exhale, let it go. Fold forward. Lift halfway. Step back high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, hips up high. Remember, warrior 1, step your right foot forward. Reach up, breathe in, stretch, move your body. Maybe take a little back bend here. Exhale, hands back down to the mat. Remember, you can bring your knees down, lower all the way down. Come into cobra. If you don't want to do chaturanga and up dog. Downward facing dog. Flow to the left side. Left side, warrior 1. Hands back down to the mat. Chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. So that was Sun Salutation B, and we did 2 rounds of that. Now we're going to move into some twisting poses and get blood flushed to the organs in the center of our body. So let's start, we'll start back in downward facing dog.
And we're gonna step back into warrior one. So right foot comes forward, reach up. This time, we're gonna open up into warrior two. So your feet stay right where they are, but your hips are gonna turn to face the side wall and your arms extend, one in front of you and one in back. And use this as an opportunity to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Stretch your fingers forward and back. Yeah, open up, sink low in that front leg. And then you're gonna press your front hip back, your right hip back. Reach forward with your hand, bring your hand down. Well, you can either bring your forearm down onto your thigh and stretch forward, you're gonna twist, or you can bring your hand all the way down to the mat and then bring your arm over your ear, look up to the ceiling under your arm. Good job, hold here for 3 breaths. This is called extended side angle. All right, release. Bring both hands back down to the mat. Step back into your high plank. Keep your knees up or down to lower. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step back into warrior one on your left side. Sink low. Open up warrior two. Hips face the side wall. Squeeze those shoulder blades down and onto your spine. Sink low. Extended side angle. Press that left hip back. Reach forward. Forearm to your leg or the floor. Twist. Feel the twist through your torso. Look up and stay here. Remember that hand can also come down to the floor inside your foot. Just make sure that your knee stays stacked over your ankle. And breathe. All right, and let's come out of that. Hands back down to the mat, step back. Sink down, chaturanga, knees up or down. Upward facing dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Now walk your feet and hands to meet in the center of your mat. Slowly rise, vertebrae by vertebrae. We're gonna do some standing balance poses. Balance is such an important aspect of fitness, and it's one that we don't devote enough time to. It's going to serve you so well in your life, preventing falls, strengthening your core, increasing your stability. So we'll start with some basics yoga balance poses. And also, it's not about standing on one foot and never falling out of the pose. That's not something that you should aim for. It's about wobbling and falling out of the pose and getting right back into it. So yeah, we're not aiming for perfection here. We're just practicing. So reach up, extended mountain pose. Breathe in, pull your shoulder blades down, spin your pinky fingers in, reach, lift your right knee up. This is standing side pose. Flex your foot, spread your toes. Reach for the outside of your right knee with your right hand and reach your left arm out to the side. And then on your next breath in, open your knee out and send your gaze over your left fingertips. And stay here. If you have a leg extension in your practice, if you can do it by holding onto your toes, that's fine too. You can do it this way. Either way is fine. Listen to your body. Bring your knee back to center. Keep it lifted. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and down. Open your palms to the front. We're gonna lean forward, shoot that leg back, Dekasana, airplane pose. So flex that back foot. Remember when we do up dog or cobra and you got your chest lifted? Think up dog in your chest. So keep your chest lifted, lift your back heel. I'm gonna give you a little challenge here. We're gonna go into half moon. If you've got a block or a book or a water bottle or something that you can reach for on the ground, use it right now. You can also bring your hand all the way down to the ground, or you can float your hand, but you're gonna stack your right hip on top of your left. And you know what? Be okay with falling out of this pose. It's not a competition or something to feel good or bad about. It's just using your body, moving your body. You want to send your gaze up to your fingertips. Lift that heel a little bit higher. And fold forward. Let it go. Slowly come up again. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So reach out, breathe in. Yeah, this side is going to be different. Standing stag pose. Flex that foot. The sides of our body are not exactly the same. They don't have to be. Open up. You can grab your toe and extend your leg if that's something that you want to do. Breathe here. Ground that standing foot into the mat, all four corners of your foot. Feel the floor pushing back up through your leg, allowing you to open up your upper body. Bring your knee back to center. Airplane pose, ready? Extend your leg back behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades down and away from your ears. Lift the corners of your mouth. Smile asana. Open up half moon. Remember, your hand can come all the way down to the floor, or if you have something to balance it on, do so. Look up at your fingertips. Be okay with wobbling and shaking. It's all part of growth. One more breath. Exhale, let it go. Roll back to standing. Tree pose, Shavasana. You're gonna take your foot, and I'm gonna give you three options. You can kickstand it on the floor. You wanna open your knee up, open your hip. So your toes can be on the floor. Your foot can be pressing into your ankle. You can do this at your calf too, or you can bring your foot all the way up and press it to the inside of your thigh. What we don't want to do is press your foot directly onto your knee. So you're going to press your foot into your leg and press your leg back into your foot with equal force to open your hips. This is actually a hip opener also. Bring your hands together, Anjali Mudra, in the middle of your chest. And when you're ready, if you're ready today, you can grow your branches of your tree. Reach up, look up. If you want a real balance challenge here, close your eyes, see what happens. You may fall out of it, and you know what? If you fall out of tree pose, you're just standing on the floor. So give it a try, there's no risk. Let's switch to the other side. Foot presses into your leg presses into your foot. Hands press together at the center of your chest. And create your tree. And try something different on this side. Maybe you want to try a little back bend here. So hug your ribs down toward your pelvis. Wobble, fall out of the pose and get right back in. And then extend through your mid-back. Reach your arms back behind you. And exhale. Bring your feet back down to the mat. Take a deep breath in, reach up. Exhale, fold forward.
halfway lift, flatten that back, fold, step back, come into tabletop, and we're gonna come onto our backs on the floor for bridge pose. So bend your knees, your feet are hips width apart and your toes are facing forward. We're going to press our feet into the ground to lift our hips up. And when we do that, we're gonna walk our shoulders in toward each other, clasp your hands, reach your fingertips towards your heels, and lift your hips 2 more inches up toward the ceiling. Take a few breaths here. On your next exhale, release, come back down. We're gonna do 2 more back bends here. So you can take bridge, you can do the same thing we just did. If you have wheel pose in your practice, or you just wanna try, you can bring your hands up by your ears, press them into the ground. Your fingertips point down towards your feet. And you're gonna start in bridge pose the same way you just did. So press your heels into the mat, lift your hips. Now, from here, start to press your hands into the mat. You might wanna stay right here, just pressing. You also may lift up into wheel pose. Tuck your chin, gently come back down. We're gonna do 1 more back bend. I'm gonna demonstrate bridge again. Wheel is a more advanced pose. And so you really need to make sure you have the strength to hold yourself up in your upper body. Breathe in, lift again. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, hips high. Reach your fingers towards your heels. And release. Supta Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees drop wide. Bring one hand to your heart and one to your belly. You can close your eyes here. Feel your heart beating under your fingertips. And feel your belly rise and fall with your breath. And just feel you. Not your to-do lists or your accomplishments or your disappointments. That's not you. This is you. There's nothing you need to change or fix about yourself. All right, let's open our eyes back up. Reach for your knees, gently bring them to close. You're gonna lift your legs straight up, 90-degree angle. You can use several positions here. So if your low back gives you problems, you can sit on your hands, put them under your low back. You can also reach forward and lift your shoulders. That rounds your low back into the mat too. And we're gonna do scissor legs. So you're going to keep your legs straight, reach, lower your right leg, and then reach it away from you. Press your heel toward the wall in front of you, and press your left heel up toward the ceiling. Really stretch your legs here. Bring your right leg back up, lower your left leg, stretch and reach, and switch, and move with your breath. Let's do 2 more. And then we're gonna squeeze your knees into your chest, rock along the length of your spine, and rock right up into boat pose. Here,
So you can hold on to the backs of your heels. I'll turn to face you. Stretch your heels and your toes up. You can release, let go. Reach the crown of your head up. Open your chest. Take 2 breaths here. And then hug your knees back in together. We're gonna go back into our roll. And you're gonna roll up so vigorously that you roll right over your feet. And come back around to the front. We're gonna do some hip openers here. We're gonna do some nice deep stretching for your hips, which we all need so desperately. And I'm gonna show you a couple of different options, 2 options, because every body is different. Your body is different from everybody else's. And you need to do the stretch that's best for your body. So we're gonna do half pigeon, and we can do that lying on our back, or we can do that on our front. So I'm gonna show you the option on your back first. You're going to cross your right ankle over your left knee. You can stay here, press your knee away from you, or you can place your fingers behind your leg, pull toward you, pressing your knee away with your elbow. That's one version. Another option is half pigeon this way. So you're gonna bring your right knee in front of you, extend your left shin across the front of your body, and it doesn't have to be parallel. Press your hips back and down, and you can stay here with your chest lifted, or if you need a deeper stretch, you can lower your chest to the floor and just rest your forehead. Yeah, and don't check out here. It's not time to be done. So stay present, stay focused. Focus on your breath. Focus on the sensations that you're having in your body. Try to feel places where there's tightness, where you're kind of stuck, and just breathe into that and relax. This can be pretty intense, this position. Our hips tend to hold really tightly. And it's okay. It's okay if it feels uncomfortable, because we are capable of sitting through uncomfortable situations, and we'll be all right. They don't last. Right, we're gonna switch sides. If you're on your back, you're just gonna switch legs. This side may be completely different from the side you just did. That's normal. That's just you. Take a few deep breaths here. Let your chest expand and fill up completely, and then let it empty out completely. Right, and when you're ready, we're going to swing both legs around to the front for a seated forward fold. So press both hip bones really into the ground, and then pressing your hips down into the ground, reach the crown of your head up, lift up, create length in your spine, fold forward, pulling your navel back towards your spine to make space. And you don't have to reach for your feet if, even if you only stretch forward a little bit, that's okay. So bring your chest toward your thighs, however far that is. You also don't have to keep your knees straight. You can bend them. There's no rules here. There's no shoulds and shouldn'ts, other than safe alignment. All the rest of it, how much you bend your knees, how far you bend, yeah, that's not important. And slowly sit up. We're gonna come all the way down onto the ground for a supine twist. So pull your right knee into your chest, extend your left leg, and then take your
left hand on the outside of your right leg. Pull your knee over toward the ground. What we want to do is keep both shoulders on the mat. So if your right shoulder is pulling up, don't move your leg over to the side as much. So keep your shoulders down and let your knee drop as far as it can. And then you might want to use your hand to push your thigh away from you, feeling the stretch through this side of your body and your hip. Turn your head, look at your outstretched fingertips. Come back to center, switch sides. So hug your left knee in, keeping both shoulder blades on the ground. Extend your left arm. Bring your knee over to the floor. Come back to center. Give yourself a big hug. And thank yourself for taking the time to take care of yourself today. And then release for deep rest, Shavasana. Deep breath in. Let it go. You can stay here as long as you want. I'm gonna check out. But you don't have to. Let yourself have the time that you need for rest on your rest day. So thank you for joining me. And you don't have to wait for your rest day to do this too. Stretching is important every day. I'll see you next week. Bye.